It's been a little while since I've given the talk. So for those of you who haven't heard me talk, I invite you to strap on your seatbelts. Sometimes I have this capacity to ready, fire, aim. I'm looking to tame that. But I will do my best to be authentic and come from my heart. I love each and every one of you. So let me begin my talk by letting you know that I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and she happened to ask, so how's it going for you in your first several months as a Unity ordained minister? Well, we've known each other for many, many years, and I thought that I could be very candid with her. I realized she was curious about how I was managing my ministerial responsibilities, and I wanted to give her an honest and complete reply. But one that I thought would best encapsulate it would be a recent event. I told her a story that I'm going to share with you now. Now let me start by telling you I'm going to be very vulnerable here. And that's really not like me. It's very difficult for me. For those of you who know me, in most areas of my life, I strive for perfection. Sometimes, I even think I achieve it. Isn't that hilarious? That's how much I amuse myself. Or at least I come close. Well, I assure you, this is not one of those times. Oh, I recall it was a beautiful summer morning. A bit on the warm and humid side, just like today. A bright, shiny morning. It was simply perfect for a wedding. Right here in the gazebo at Unity of Garden Park. And I was called upon to officiate. Oh, I was happy to do so. Although it was really my very first wedding to officiate, and I'm not so sure they knew that. Well, a lovely same-sex couple who've been together for several years wanted to wed. There were a number of small guests, maybe perhaps a dozen. Perfect for me. The couple had chosen their wedding vows and readings, and I had prepared a very special booklet. Oh yeah, it's got to be Simonized, it's got to be organized, you know, right and left justified, looking good for me, but also wanted to have available for them as well. So as I prepared this booklet, actually Trina took care of it, preparing it. I'm just taking credit for it. But I even put the pages in clear sheet protectors, so that I could easily read the words and without the paper getting destroyed. As a matter of fact, I do this for all the ceremonies, whether it be the celebrations of life that I've done, or even my granddaughter's christening. So anyway, I arrived at the church very early that day with Trina, who was there for moral support. Oh, I brought my leaf blower to make sure that the area leading up the gazebo was completely clear of any leaves and any debris. And of course, given the warm day, I would change into my suit and stole just before the wedding. So as it approached 10:30 or so, I remember the wedding was scheduled to take place at 11 a.m. So as it approached 10:30, I started to gather my clothes to get dressed for the occasion. And to my great dismay, I realized that I left my suit jacket and my minister's stole at home. So here quickly, what runs through my mind is, I live 15 minutes away from the church. I did the quick high-speed math. You know, I'm good with that. 15 minutes there, 15 minutes back. I should be here by 11. The heck, that's just the start of the wedding. The fact that I still have to get cooled down and dressed, I will figure something out. Well, sure enough, I decided in that minute to go. Matter of fact, Nudge was here helping, and he was kind of on the, I can't believe what he's doing. Of course, he says that very often of me. But I knew I could make it back, and back here, speed limits notwithstanding. Okay? So I did make it back to bring the booklet to me. The ring fell on the gazebo floor. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I caught one of the rings, but the other one I looked down and the ring hits the nowhere. So I heard gasp from the brides. I think one gasp was heart and the other was attack. Oh, and then I heard a guest say, I wonder how far that goes down to the ground. Well, I had no idea myself. I was horrified. So I immediately went down the gazebo steps. I removed my suit jacket and Unity stole, remind me the things that I had went home to get, and hung them on the railing. And I tried to remove the lattice work on the side of the gazebo. Oh, I pushed on it, and I pushed again, and then I pulled it, and I pulled again. I couldn't get the lattice down. Nothing I did could move the lattice work. So finally, like you might see in a movie, I plant all of my energy on my back foot and I start kicking the lattice. All the people in the wedding group are looking at me. Oh, they're taking pictures. They're taking pictures all right. I can hear the videos rolling, right? And I'm boom, boom. What am I doing? So I'll do third time, and I get the third time, and sure enough, the lattice work goes down. So I go down, I get down to the ground, and I move the lattice work aside, and I get down completely on the ground, completely. And I go in. Oh, I'm on a mission. I'm on an absolute mission. So I go underneath, I do an army crawl to get underneath the gazebo. Actually completely laid out flat. And I'm crawling in, and I get all the way in. I got a long white shirt, colored shirt on, and I go in all the way up to about where my pants start. So the people are seeing me. They're seeing my navy blue pants and my shoes, but they don't see the rest of me. Oh, they hear me, but they don't see me. And I go in, and I'm filtering through the muck, the leaves, all the dirt, pebbles, picking, animals. I saw it all. My shirt's getting dirtier and dirtier. So interestingly, I'm told, as a side note, I'm told later that, of course, Trina, who was there sitting in a chair, she's watching all this, and she's leaning over in her chair and leaning over more and more, laughing, of course. She wants to get a better view. What happens to Trina? She leans over and boom, she goes down, completely down to the ground. And she can't get up. That's right, like a police beam. Minister's wife down, minister's wife down. Fortunately, one of the brides was a nurse, and she went over to help Trina. Meanwhile, I'm still underneath. As a matter of fact, at one point, my head got stuck under the gazebo. I couldn't move. I wiggled it out. But anyway, let me finish this up a little bit. All the people kept saying, all right, after about 15 minutes, I heard one of the people in the group say to me, as I'm going 20 minutes deep into this search, one of the people in the group says, boy, that minister sure has a lot of faith. I'm thinking, faith? Are you kidding me? I'm being driven by fear. If I don't find this ring, I'm going to be embarrassed, humiliated, and I'm never going to be able to officiate a wedding again. But sure enough, when she said those words, what came to me, immediately what came to me is, it gave me an opportunity to pause and reflect myself. Be honest with myself. what was motivating me, what was driving me, and I knew in those moments it was fear. And so I chose in the alternative to shift from fear to faith and move from the idea of I'm afraid I'm not going to find it to I know I'm going to find it, and in faith. And with that in mind, I looked and I said, I've been looking on this ground for 30 minutes to no avail. I looked up, and sure enough, there was a support beam, very wide support beam running at the bottom underneath the gazebo flooring. And I thought maybe the ring landed there. So I reached my hand back very, very gently, went along that railing, and sure enough, I found the ring. Found the ring. I came up very, very slowly. I didn't want to say a word at first because I wanted to be sure I hit it. I didn't want to mix it up for another piece of mud. So I just paused for a moment. I said, thank you, God. I came out and I said, I got the ring. I got the ring. Everybody goes, they look. Right? All of a sudden, I'm the hero. And I'm thinking, how can I be the hero when I caused the issue? But that's all right. I'm all for it. I can handle that. So I go back up the gazebo. Oh, yeah, I got to put the suit jacket back on, the stole back on. I shake it off a little bit. I simply say, now, where were we? I gave the rings back to the ring bearer, and off we went to the races to finish up for the rest of the service. What an absolutely marvelous occasion. But I can't help but tell you. So when I came up, I didn't realize it at the time, but when I got up on the gazebo flooring, and I'm standing very proudly, separated like this with my legs apart, and just solid ground, I was told afterwards, and I discovered afterwards, that my suit pants were ripped all the way from my crotch all the way down the seam of my right leg. I'm out there hanging like this. Angelina Jolie's got nothing on me. The ladies are loving it. I still got those pants. I would have brought them in, but I think I left them in the office. I think I tore them more coming down the steps. But in any event, I closed out the story by letting you know that truly, radiating joy and gratitude, was able to complete the ceremony. And by the power vested in me, they were both wed with both wedding rings. So I apologize if that story was a bit long, but there was some humility for that. There was some learning message in that. What's my takeaway? There's plenty. And I invite each and every one of you to think about this. But here's a core message that I came away with, and that's this. I invite you to think about this statement. Down in the dirt, my faith rises. Down in the dirt, my faith rises. So what does that mean? Well, I wasn't sure for a long time, and I'm sure not sure. But what I feel it means for me is, one thing it means is when I'm low and down and out, feeling very, very depressed. Maybe it's then, when I'm all the way down to the ground, that maybe I become open and willing to open up my mind and my heart, to open up with faith. Because you see, we all have faith. It's a matter of what we have faith in. Do we have faith in fear, or do we have faith in God? And so I chose to live with recognizing when I am down and I'm suffering and in so much pain, that somewhere along the lines I can pause and shift to faith. The second thing and final thing that came to mind is what it might mean to me is, down in the dirt, my faith arises, refers more to the idea of when I'm centered. When I'm down on the ground, we say even these words, we're grounded. And we're in tune with nature. That's when my faith in the divine rises in awareness and in consciousness. For me, down in the dirt, my faith arises, applies to both of these messages, and perhaps more. So I close with inviting you as we move forward throughout the day and throughout the upcoming weeks to take this stake down in the dirt. My faith arises to look at, what does that mean? Why is it important? And how do I apply it in my life? I so much love each and every one of you. I'm so grateful to be here today with you. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste.